All right, folks, welcome to another week of the Doan 5-0 show. Back from a nice, relaxing weekend in Cincinnati. Joe, how'd your weekend go?
Better than yours.
Better than mine?
Yes. Well, at least part of yours. I'm sure a lot of your weekend was very nice. Just you had a couple bumps in the road.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
Wife and I had a nice little couple day getaway in Cincinnati. We ate at a lot of great places there. As you can see, took Joe to Wahlburgers with me. Had our first Wahlburgers experience. I brought you some food back.
Oh. Well, thank you.
Some 2-day-old tots, fries, and a sandwich.
Tots and fries a couple days old are always interesting. When I used to drink, that was okay, and for some reason
I've seen what you pull out of your refrigerator in the mornings. I can't be any worse. So.
I'm on a new kick. We're on corned beef hash now, out of the oven.
Gross. Wahlburgers was really good. I was actually pretty surprised by it. We had talked about that show. You said you'd never seen it, and I kind of explained that to you before we left, and I was kind of anxious to try. We actually ate there twice. We ate there on Friday night when we finally got into Cincinnati, and then we ate there Sunday afternoon before we left. So.
Oh, were you really surprised? Because it sounds like, the way you described it, it sounds like it'd be really good.
It was really good. I really liked it. I mean, it's a burger joint at heart. They have mostly burgers. Mm-hmm. I think they had chicken sandwiches and maybe some salads, like different types of salads and stuff, but they're known for their burgers. I thought they were really good.
And there's Mark, Donnie, and Paul?
Paul, yep. And Paul's the chef.
Paul's the one that gets crapped on all the time.
He's the run of the litter, kind of like you, your family probably. I don't know.
I'm the tallest one in my family.
Holy cow. No, but it's for those of you that have never watched Wahlburgers, it's a reality-based show, but it really is funny. My wife and I enjoy watching it. I think it's on A&E, the A&E network. So.
Okay, I'm gonna have to try to watch.
You have to give it a shot. They're basically it's the two brothers that everybody knows, which is Donnie from New Kids on the Block and Blue Bloods,
right? And
then Mark, of course, is one of the biggest movie stars on the planet.
Yeah, he's good. I've seen a lot of his movies.
There's like 9 of those kids altogether, but the 3 brothers started up the restaurant business, and Paul's the chef. And
the other 6 are where?
You see some of the other ones sporadically throughout the show, but they're not on there very often.
You know, I've always said when you have, and you should listen to this, when you have more than 3 kids, where you have more than 2 kids, usually you're going to get one. You're going to get one. That's tough. You have 75,000,
something like that. I've lost count.
You're gonna run into a lot of them. I know one of yours already. The one, not that she's not a bad kid at all. She's just gonna be the one you're gonna want to keep your eyes on. And we both know who it is. Hi, Riley.
Raising girls is not for the weak at heart. That's what I've discovered.
Not for the dads, especially.
It is challenged. There's such a difference between boys and girls. It's amazing. You know, we have friends that have nothing but boys. They have a handful of boys or whatever.
And they have the broken arms and skin knees and stuff like that.
I just would love to have a girl. I'm like,
no, you wouldn't.
Eventually, that girl turns into a teenager.
Oh, then it's all over. It's bad. It's really.
It's hard.
And it's, you know, as hard as it is for you with the boys and all that stuff, it's going to be worse on Sarah. Because there's something goes on with girls. They get to a certain age, and with their mom,
they turn into their mother. That's the problem.
And then there's a big struggle for dominance in the house. It's
fun
to watch from afar.
Yeah.
But not. I'll watch.
You know, it's you're right. It's crazy. I know I've watched. Well, even Riley. I mean, that's the girl he's talking about. She's my youngest child of all. And she perhaps has the biggest personality of all.
She does. She's got a look in her eyes that
she's going to give us a run for our money. And to be honest with you, by the time she gets to be a teenager, I think I'm going to be too old to care.
Gosh, you're going to almost be as old as I am by then. Yeah, I'll pray for you.
It's not going to be easy. We've got 2 older daughters than Riley, and I mean they give us a run for our money at different times too. And they're their mother, and Riley is every bit of their mother already, and she's just watching her 2 older sisters and learning at a very young age how to push the buttons, and she's pretty good at it. So
wow,
we'll see how it goes. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. All right, well, let's go ahead and jump into the news. Wahlburgers, good food, good show, so give it a check out. So we're going to start things off out of Westchester, California, Joe, where a rat drops from the ceiling onto the customer's menu at B BW3s. You ever eaten at BW3s before?
Just a couple times. I'm honestly not a huge fan.
Not a big fan?
No.
That's McKenna's favorite place to go. She actually calls it Buffalo Wild Wings. Everybody I know just calls it BW3s. I don't know, so. An unwelcome guest dropped onto a woman's menu while she was dining at a local BW3s in California. Alicia Norman told NBC LA that the manager said construction is to blame. You could hear something come down, she said. Norman was on vacation at the time and requested a manager after the incident occurred. Norman said she wasn't angry, but she was in fact disgusted. The manager took care of her bill. Well, that was generous of her. He took 2 plates and then he just picked it up and dumped it in the bag. The restaurant has not responded to comment. There you can see the.
So was it dead when it fell?
It appears to be.
If that's the actual one, yeah, it's dead as a doornail. But, so it must have been dead up on a rafter or something. If
Either that or the fall killed it. One of the two. I'm not sure.
Yeah, usually they're pretty resilient.
So it says
he's a cute little guy.
Took care of the bill. I don't know that I would be sticking around for my meal once the rat fell from the ceiling. And
wouldn't bother me a bit.
Yeah, I'm sure
I would have kept.
It creeped me out just enough. I mean, we both know that I'll eat just about anything. That might be my limit. That and the Bean Boozled garbage.
Are we done with that?
Oh, I can't do that anymore. You know, my kids. We have the family show thing that we started up. Episode 2 is coming out this week, and while they were at Grandma's, the younger 3, they talked her into buying those Bean Boozled things, and they did a challenge of their own. McKenna and Riley did. And
yeah, shocking.
Idiots. Out of Rock Island, Illinois Fire Department reminds people of grilling safety. We'll throw the picture up there for you guys. Officials with the Rock Island Fire Department are urging cooks to be careful during grilling season. The fire department shared a photo on Facebook showing a grill hanging from a window with the caption, "Ever wonder why we have fire codes?"
I saw that on Facebook. I thought it was a joke, but
no, this is real.
It really happened. I'll be darned. Except for being so close to deciding, it's genius. Just genius. I've been out in the rain grilling before. I've had an umbrella. I've had something over me. Never thought about doing it from my kitchen window.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess when I first saw that, I had to chuckle because it's a horrible idea. Yeah, it's a lazy man's genius way to cook. I guess if you don't want to get wet outside, but it's a horrible safety idea. I remember when I was in my younger days, in my probably early 20s, some buddies and I had a townhouse together, a little apartment, and we had a grill, and I couldn't get it was a gas grill, and I couldn't get the damn thing to light with the igniter button or whatever.
Right.
So I took the genius idea of lighting a match to it. Whoosh! A big fireball comes shooting up in the air. All the people in the complex come running.
You had the gas on the whole time.
It singed the hair. Some of my eyebrows were gone and the hair on my arms.
That's such a delightful smell.
Yeah. Don't light a match with a gas grill. It's not a good idea.
I would love. We need to do one show about what your life was like living there in your early 20s. Was there any alcohol involved?
We had some good times.
But it's better now.
Some of it I even remember, like the fireball. One of the other funny things actually that I remember, one of my best friends that lived there with me, he worked midnight shift at Kroger, one of the Krogers in Kokomo, and we always made fun of him for being like narcoleptic, because he'd work his night shift or whatever, and then he would try and sleep for just a little bit, and then do whatever we wanted to do during the daytime and evening hours and stuff, and he would just, he could be sitting there just like you and I. We'd be having a conversation. All of a sudden, he'd just go like that. He would just in the middle of
Welcome to my world, everybody. I can do the same thing.
But one night we had one of my buddies he's hanging out or whatever, spending the night. He was downstairs on the couch. You could hear him yelling, freaking out. So I come running out of my bedroom, and what's the problem? There's a bird. There's a bird. And there's apparently.
Oh no, not you.
Yeah. Another horrific bird story, which we'll get into that crap another day. But there's actually a bird. Somehow he went to do some laundry, is what it was, and the laundry was kind of behind a couple folding doors. He opened it, and this bird comes flying out.
Oh man!
No idea how it got in there, and he's freaking out down there. So I go down there, and we're trying to figure out how to get this thing out. And my buddy Paul, he comes out of his slumber from his room, and his eyes are just barely open, and his hair's standing straight up. He had a big mange back then, What is you guys doing? All of a sudden, this bird takes a beeline straight up the stairs where he's standing, and his eyes get real big, and he just does this dive down the stairs. Birds, man, they're the bane of my existence. I can't stand them. We finally shoot it out of a window upstairs there. But man, it was funny. So go ahead and moving away from my dumber days, I guess.
There's more to come.
There's more to come. Furious mother squirted her boob at a woman who told her to move while she was breastfeeding because it was distracting her husband. That's right, a mother breastfeeding in public allegedly squirted her boob at a woman who told her to move somewhere private. The incident is said to have happened in a park in Dartford, Kent, this week, and later reported on a local Facebook forum. The post states, to the lady in Dartford Park who thought it was appropriate to breastfeed her baby while my child and very easily distracted husband sat nearby.
You know, I don't think you have to be easily distracted when there is a boob out.
I don't think it was necessary for you to react the way you did just because I asked you to go somewhere private, telling me to off and squirting me with your boobs was incredibly uncalled for. I hope you are ashamed of yourself. The post has since caused a storm amongst locals, with many coming to the defense of the breastfeeding mother. Janice Holmes said, I hope you're ashamed of yourself. Her reaction may not have been the right way to deal with your ignorance. She has every right to feed her child there, and if it offended you, then why didn't you move? Another lady by the name of Sierra Bennett added, if this lady told me to stop breastfeeding my daughter and to go somewhere else, I would tell her to do one. Do one what?
I don't know.
How sad is this? Is out of England somewhere.
Oh, okay.
How sad is it that breastfeeding
to do one? Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
How sad is it that breastfeeding is seen as a bad thing now and formula feeding is the norm? Good luck to the breastfeeding mom who told this lady where to go. Others criticized the husband for oogling over the mother and the child.
Well, you know, if I'm going to the bathroom, I can't do it in front of everybody. And what? I don't know. I know it's natural. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not. Hey, is that assault? Because the guy who put ketchup on his girlfriend, that was assault, right?
Yeah, it wasn't. Where was that at? Was that Florida? Was that a story? I can't remember if that was a Florida story or not.
There was a Florida story. Wow, shocking. So, wouldn't you love to be in court for that case? She squirted boob at me.
We're going to need to see Exhibit A. Ma'am, can you please pull down your top? What's the range on those suckers anyway?
Then they have some mathematician doing feet per minute and stuff.
Here's the bullseye.
Hey, if this had hit her in the eye, would it have hurt?
Oh, boy.
Where was that, Kent?
Somewhere in the UK.
Okay.
Yeah, some part.
They're a little loopy over there, too.
My easily distracted husband, yeah.
There's a boob.
Yeah, that's all it takes. That's all it takes. Authorities claim Alabama man fed methamphetamine to a caged attack squirrel. Out of Athens, Alabama, Alabama investigators say a man kept a caged attack squirrel in his apartment and fed it methamphetamine to ensure it stayed aggressive. The News Courier reports authorities are seeking 35-year-old Mickey Polk on multiple charges, including possession of a controlled substance. Law enforcement was warned of the animal prior to executing a search warrant of the Athens home Monday. It is illegal in Alabama to have a pet squirrel. Officials from the state's Department of Conservation recommend releasing the animal, which deputies did do successfully. A spokesman for the Limestone County Sheriff's Office say there was no safe way to test the squirrel for methamphetamine.
Well, they're concerned it's a caged squirrel. It's being fed meth, and their biggest concern is that the squirrel was caged.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now meth is fairly addicting. I've been told.
Yes.
And so he's been feeding this squirrel meth, and now they just release it into the wild.
What's the worst that could happen?
What could possibly be bad?
When I saw this headline, my brain immediately went to National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. That rabid squirrel coming out of the Christmas tree. Maybe that thing was hyped up on.
That could have been it. I bet that was.
Chevy Chase was known to party back in the day. Maybe that's what that was.
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it.
Well, it's that time, folks. It's time for This Week in Florida.
I'm picking up good vibrations. She's giving me the excitations. I'm picking up good vibrations. She's giving me the excitations.
All right, folks, it's time for This Week in Florida. We're going to start things off out of beautiful Miami Beach, Florida, where a Florida man has been accused of throwing feces at the judge. That's right. Court officials say a Florida man charged with burglary defecated during his criminal trial and tried to throw his feces at the judge. The Miami Herald reports 33-year-old DeLorean Philidor was sitting in a wheelchair next to Miami-Dade Circuit Judge Lisa Walsh when officials say he tried to throw his excrement at her. It did not reach her, and there were no jurors present during Friday's incident. Witnesses say dozens of correction officers responded and the trial was moved while the courtroom was sanitized. Miami-Dade Circuit Court spokeswoman Eunice Sigler said Philidor was also defecated on himself in a holding cell on Thursday. Jurors subsequently acquitted him of the burglary charge. The newspaper says he still faces another trial in a grand theft auto case. It's unclear whether he'll face any charges involving the flying feces.
Okay, first of all, you guy's full of shit.
Clearly.
Second of all, he was sitting next to the judge, and the poop didn't make it all the way to the judge. He has no arm.
Must not be much of an athlete.
Nope.
He is full of shit, though.
He was full of shit.
Was.
He's no longer full of shit.
No, he must have endless supplies if he's got enough to throw at the judge and smear all over the walls in his holding cell. And
What possesses you to do that?
I don't know. It's pretty disgusting. Pretty disgusting.
Florida.
Out of Conch Key, Florida. Never heard of that
He
place.
scares me. He frightens me.
Florida man threatens coworkers with a fillet knife before stripping naked and passing out. A drunk fish houseworker in Florida Keys threatened his coworkers with a fillet knife and got naked and resisted arrest on Friday night. Monroe County deputies responded to a call about a drunk and disorderly man at Nicholas Seafood of Conch Key around 5 p.m. When they arrived, one of the workers said their coworker, 46-year-old Daniel Badafuco Torna Morales, had been drinking at work, became belligerent, and was asked to leave, according to the Monroe County Sheriff's Office blog. Torna Morales caused $1,000 in damages to security cameras and even painted the screen of one camera with spray paint.
Where'd he get that?
It doesn't say. He reportedly threatened his coworkers with a fillet knife, which they were able to take from him, and then he stripped naked and walked around the property. Deputies found him passed out naked in the office, smelling of alcohol. They told him to get dressed so they could talk with him, but Torna Morales cursed at them and tried to slam the office door shut multiple times. He finally complied and walked out of the office, but as deputies were putting him in a patrol car, he started kicking them and saying he wished for death by a cop. He was shocked with the taser and then put back in the back of the car. On the way to jail, he reportedly bashed his head against the patrol car's partition and had to be put in a restraint chair. He's currently being held on a $45,000 bond and is facing charges of disorderly intoxication, damaging property worth $1,000 or more, battery on a law enforcement officer, and resisting an officer with violence. Torna Morales is due in court for arraignment on July 3rd. So he can be locked up for a little bit anyway before he gets there. Look at that guy.
Yeah, he's scary. Why is it that now when I drink, I laugh? I think everything's funny. Mm-hmm. I'm a happy drunk. And then some people, I had a friend that we used to say instant asshole, just add beer. And he was a jerk. He'd just try to fight everybody. Mm-hmm. Well, I wonder why people act so differently with, and some people say, well, I'm fine with beer, but if I drink whiskey, I get bad. I wonder what he was drinking.
It must have been pretty good, whatever it was.
Yeah, we just had somebody in Florida strip naked and try to impregnate a railing or something. And that was last week.
A lot of strange things go on in Florida. Maybe not as strange as they do in Cincinnati, but things are strange in Florida. So
I wonder if we have a huge following in Florida. We give them a lot of props.
We do.
So tell me more about Cincinnati. So what happened when you first got there? What'd you run into?
Wahlburgers.
I kind of remember a different story. There wasn't any more than that.
No, we got there Friday night. We went to Wahlburgers.
Okay. Was there any sort of commotion going on?
That's this week in Florida.
In Florida.
All right, folks. Pretty quick Doan 5-0 show for this week. We didn't have a whole lot of news headlines to touch on.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. I'm trying to shorten things up a little bit. We'll go ahead and end with a little bit. Joe was poking and prodding the bear a little bit there towards the end of the Florida segment. My wife and I got there, and it was I don't know the technical name of it, but it's an entire week here in the country. I wasn't aware of it. It's like a Gay Pride Week, and they have festivals across the country or whatever. And downtown Cincinnati, which I haven't been there in probably 15 years at least, maybe 20. It's from somebody that comes from the Midwest. It's such a culture shock going there anyway, because it's such a different way of life, and you see so many homeless people just they'll come up right up to you and want money and food, and they want to use your phone, and that all happened to us while we were walking down there. It was constant, somebody coming up wanting something. And but anyway, what Joe's referring to is on Saturday they had their festival, their Gay Pride Festival down there, and
That's not what bothered you.
No, it's not. That's not what bothered me at all. Like we've
just
touched
so there's
before.
no question.
Yeah,
about that.
we both have friends that are gay and they're great people. It's not that bothered me. It's the thing that got to me was, a lot of that particular community obviously is not a fan of our current president, but they they'll get on all their social media outlets and peace, love, and harmony and all this stuff. And what I saw from a good portion of these people in downtown Cincinnati was very obscene, and it's not what they're preaching online by any means. Okay,
Right.
I mean, I'm seeing people wearing shirts with excuse my language, but fuck the president, and I hope Donald Trump dies, and all kinds of nasty and obscene stuff. And there's people like here in our town during the circus week, they have those vendors that push around and sell stuff. Well, they have the same thing down there with this very vulgar and obscene material on it. And, I just can't help but, take a step back and, like I'm saying, we want equal rights. We want peace. We want everybody to be accepted.
Right.
How is that fitting their narrative? How is wishing death to somebody fitting a narrative of some kind?
That's pretty messed up.
So that got to me. We didn't get out too much. Like I told we were texting back and forth all weekend. I just didn't want to. I didn't want to get involved because, to me, that's kind of a hot button topic of when people are making death threats toward. Joe and I, neither one were huge fans of President Obama, but we never wished the death upon the man.
No,
or
absolutely not.
We never got on our social media and, F you, Obama, screw you, Obama, I hope you and your whole family dies.
Well,
we've seen that. We've seen where they've threatened his kid and his wife, death threats and wishing him harm. And
I'm sure that happened to Obama, too.
it probably did.
I just didn't see the public. I didn't see so much of it.
Yeah, it's nonstop.
But maybe I'm just more aware. One of my youngest one told me, he said, I notice a lot of this stuff now, and he said, well, you were never really involved until, I started running for president. And he said, this has always been going on. But for some reason, it seems so much more escalated now. And people will blame Trump. And he is an idiot. He says some stupid stuff. He just needs to shut up. I like the way he's running the country, to be honest with you. I like the way things have gone. Sometimes he'll do something and you go, so what the hell is he doing? It's so stupid. But then something works out. And I don't know if that's by design or if he falls into stuff. I don't know what it is. But I understand some of the stuff he's doing. They'll say, well, he's really making enemies with China. Well, there's a reason that some of the imports and exports, it hasn't been even. I'm seeing kind of what he's doing. But anyway, my point is he needs to shut up. He just needs to shut up. Get off Twitter. But everything else he's doing is okay. I don't think it warrants a death threat.
Right. And that was my main thing. I was afraid if I would go down there and one of these more radical acting individuals got into my face, because I was just, even the way a lot of them were dressing was insane to me. I mean, I saw some pretty obscene, I guess, clothing you would call it, or lack thereof, out of some of these people. And, I'm thinking if you and I were just to walk down the street one day,
we would
wearing some of
stick
the
out.
stuff, yeah.
We would stick. I mean, if we weren't there for that, wearing just our regular clothes, we would stand out, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
That's
So
funny.
I don't know. It's very, very hypocritical was what I was seeing down there. And I guess from my personal standpoint, I was worried about how I might react if one of those people got up in my face for no reason, I mean, we were minding our own business, but it was, it was wall-to-wall people. Downtown Cincinnati's a busy place enough as it is. And then you throw in a festival or a parade or something like that. It's even worse.
That sounds terrible. That's my worst nightmare.
Yeah. I mean, I can't even imagine.
We're going to do some stuff Circus City days.
Yeah.
And even that, I stay up at night sometimes thinking about it, because too many people, it scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, it's just a different way of life there. And of course, if anybody from Ohio watches the show from the Cincinnati area, it's what you're used to. We come from a smaller community where the biggest city to us is probably Indianapolis or Fort Wayne. Indianapolis would be like the biggest downtown type city, I would say.
I know that I've been climatized to a small town when I'm I'm on the north side. I'm going, oh man, I want to go over to Wendy's, but it's all the way on the west side. I've really done that, and it's like, okay, I've been here a long time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go through 5-6 lights. I don't know if I can make it.
You can get from the farthest point of town to the next farthest point of town in 5 minutes or less. But he's right. It's, I've even had the same thought when I've been on duty or whatever. You thinking, man, I don't have to go all the way over there. I just can't.
I think we've talked about that.
Yeah.
Sarah wanted to do something. You say, oh, I don't want to go all the way to that side. It's like, are you kidding me?
So we have a bazillion stoplights. I think that's probably what gets to you. But yeah, it was, when Sarah and I we'd be walking around downtown or whatever, and some sketchy looking character would be, get a little too close to her. She'd squeeze my hand just a little bit tighter, and it's a different way of life. And she even made the comment she couldn't believe that there were single females walking downtown alone, just based on the the looks of some of these guys.
Right.
She had one guy come up to her, and what did he ask her for? He asked her for some money for the bus. This is how he started off the conversation. He goes, "Excuse me, ma'am, I'm not a bad person or anything, but I just got out of the county jail and I need money for the bus." Apparently, they used to give him like bus tickets or something when they got released from the jail.
Okay.
And I don't even know if there's a county jail in downtown Cincinnati. But I'm not a bad person. I just got out of jail.
You guys probably look so out of place there. They
We
just knew
probably
you
did.
weren't from the area.
Yeah, so no, man, we ain't got no cash. Another guy came up and asked us for our cell phones. Nope, sorry.
Yeah. Here you go.
Yeah. I'll even give you a running head start here. It was a unique trip, but we did, taken away from that type of stuff. We stayed in a really nice hotel called the Cincinnatian. They were really hospitable people. It was a really nice hotel. We ate at Wahlburgers a couple different times. We like that. There is a steakhouse its name's escaping me right at the moment, but the steak melted in your mouth. They said I don't understand how that works, but they said they had the top 2% Angus beef in the country or something they serve.
Who
there.
determines that?
I have no idea, but
Who
I'm
are the
telling
judges
you,
for
I have
this?
never had a steak that tender in my entire life.
Wow.
And I've been to like Ruth Chris. I think I've told you I've been there before.
Oh.
This is probably better than Ruth Chris. I mean, it was amazing.
I didn't think Ruth Chris was that good.
Really?
No, I thought it was fine. Was not worth all the money.
See, this place was probably on par. Well, it may have been a little cheaper than Ruth Chris. Yeah, it was. It was cheaper than Ruth Chris, and I actually liked it better.
But the steak was better.
Oh my God, the steak! I'm not kidding. I don't even
So
necessarily.
you
know
brought me back 2-day-old French fries and no steak.
Well, you wanted to try the burgers.
If you would have told me there was steak, I'd have been all in.
So it would almost be worth a trip back there just to eat at this place again. That's how good it was, and it's a pretty good drive from here. But man, it was phenomenal. So
Only if I can come home that night.
it's a lot of driving, but hey, okay.
How long did it take to get there?
Probably from our house, it would have been about maybe 4 hours or so. We had to take the kids to my mom's first. We kind of had a detour,
Right.
Because we had to take the kids to Plainfield, and then from Plainfield to Cincinnati. So it's not a horrible drive, but after working, I worked all day, so that was a lot of time in the car for me.
Right.
Because back on September 30th of 2015. Yeah, another story for another day.
It's for Russ. Russ, that was for you.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Appreciate you guys listening in this week and watching along this week. And did you want to try one of those again?
Are we going to do it?
I said you. Do you want to try another one of those again?
No, if you're not going to do it.
I'll tell you why I don't want to do it again.
I know why, because you got fish and you got vomit. I guess we'll just let it go and I can just be the victor.
See, he's trying to get in under my skin now. I'm the winner.
I mean, it's already done. I've already won. You've lost. So
because I'm a loser.
First place, second place.
Loser. And you know what? I'm okay with it.
Tell you what, the thought of eating vomit doesn't really sound
Yeah.
great to me either.
All right. Well, thanks for watching along and listening in this week, folks, and we'll see you soon. Take care.
I look funny dressed up, don't I?
It's just not natural.
I
It's
don't
not
feel right. At least I didn't comb my hair.
All right, you ready? We're gonna change the background and everything this time.
The first time?
Great.
So I play this game that you have to just work out words in here. This came up. All I could see on that was donut. I couldn't see anything else.
The first thing I saw was "Don't run." Oh, come on. Why did it lose connection? Just to irritate the crap out of me.
The sun's getting kind of hot. I wonder if there's a Olympic event like this.
All right.
Ready? It's my favorite part now.
Favorite part. All right. Welcome to a teaser for another week of the Doan 5-0 show. Thought we'd come to you from one of Joe and I's favorite cinematic, well, it's not even a trilogy, is it? There's like, how many of these, 6, 7 movies now?
6 of them, I think.
6 Rocky movies. Then now we have the Apollo Creed spinoffs, or the Creed spinoffs. Those are really good movies too.
I haven't seen those.
You haven't seen them yet?
No,
You need to
I
watch.
want to.
I haven't seen the second one yet. The first one was really good. I need to watch the second one still, but maybe we can do that as a watch along one day.
Oh, that'd be great.
For those of you that are unfamiliar with our background, that's
Stop watching us then.
get a life.
Yeah, that's wrong.
The man, Rocky Balboa.
Great movie.
Look at the speed of the Italian stallion.
Well, not a lot of speed, but he never goes down.
Actually, kind of looks more like slow motion, doesn't it?
Kind of does. All right, never mind that speed part.
Never mind. Just watch the Rocky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Not 5. Don't
5
watch
was not good. 5 was not
Don't
good.
watch 5.
They should have stopped with 4.
Well, no. Did you see the very last one? It's called Balboa.
That one was good.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
I think that was my favorite. One and Balboa were my favorite now.
Yeah.
2 was good too, but I couldn't. You're too young, but I actually went to Rocky when it came out.
They had movie theaters back then?
So we all get in a cave, and it was 76, and I've never been so fired up after watching a movie. And you get out there and you think you can take on anybody, but what was shocking is that he didn't win.
Yeah.
And that was unheard of back then. Back then, the good guy won, the bad guy lost, or black hat, white hat, all that stuff.
Right.
And you get done with the movie, and he's killing him at the end. You're going, oh my God, he's going to pull it off, and then he doesn't win. And it's like it was. I think that's what made it a great movie.
Yeah. Very great movie, and it was. I've done a lot of research on it as I got older and got more intrigued by it and understanding different tones of the movies and stuff. And I didn't realize till I was a little bit older that Sylvester Stallone actually wrote the screenplay for that movie. So. And
the reason why it wasn't released a little earlier is because they wouldn't let him star in it.
Yeah.
And he insisted on it, which can you imagine anybody else being? I think they wanted Richard Gere or somebody like that at the time. That's just not right. Yeah. No.
So it's if you want to talk about Rocky is a rags to riches story, and that's exactly what Sylvester Stallone was. He was a nobody till he wrote that movie and starred in it. Then boom.
He was actually in a couple other movies, but nothing. I mean, just an extra and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, probably the closest second for him would be the Rambo franchise. I mean, he made it pretty big with the Rambo movie. They're actually going to make another one after all these years.
Yeah.
So that ought to be interesting because he's probably in his 70s now. Is he 70?
I think he is 70.
So that's a pretty old soldier to be out there kicking ass
still
and taking
looks
names.
pretty good, though.
He's still pretty ripped, but should be interesting. So great movies for those of you that aren't familiar with Rocky. I would recommend you watch them. They're great flicks. So.
Except 5. Don't watch 5.
Don't watch 5. Just pretend like that never happened.
Shouldn't have happened.
Gonna give you a little bit of a teaser here for a couple of the headlines we're gonna touch on
Are
this
we
week.
going to talk about that too?
Oh yeah, we've actually got a show for you.
I was going to watch Rocky.
We're just we're in love with Rockies. We're gonna talk about a Florida man who threw his feces at a judge.
Yeah, good arm.
A rat dropping from the ceiling at the local BW3s.
Hate when that happens.
Maybe not the best place to get your chicken.
Could be worse. You could eat
breastfeeding.
one of those damn jelly beans though.
No. And breastfeeding mother who squirted her boob from her milks at a woman who was complaining that she was breastfeeding in public. And the poor dad in the whole scenario, he gets blamed for the whole thing.
He does. Well, he shouldn't have been gawking. Shouldn't have whipped your... Never mind.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get hate mail for that, aren't I? From both people watching.
All that, and we'll talk about my weekend in the big city of Cincinnati. All that and more on this week's Doan 50 show. Stay tuned.
See you later. Go Rocky.
Hey, yo, where you?
When are we gonna do the Rocky video? We still gotta do that.